Hey guys, huge video today. We officially have, thanks to our beloved Rise of Kingdoms official Vietnamese channel, all the informations regarding the new museum skills and the new cavalry commander skills. As usual, I asked my translator friend to help me out to bring you all the information as soon as possible. Let's get straight into it. Hello gamers, it's Wick here and welcome back to the channel. Thanks to the Rise of Kingdoms Vietnam official YouTube channel and her presentator Sana, who I've seen from the last video has already some fans among our community, leave a comment down below. We have a ton of information to go through, and my deepest thanks go to Odie Garfield from Kingdom 1235 once again for the translations. The museum, we already spoke about it. It's essentially a new building that you construct in your city starting from the Season of Conquest and will grant you the chance to unlock new boosts for old generation commanders that essentially became useless in the Season of Conquest. I mean, not all of them were actually useless, some commanders were already good and have been boosted some more. We have a new information regarding this mechanic. Even if we still don't know in which way we will be able to obtain the relics necessary to unlock the boosts, you will not have to unlock these boosts every single KVK season. It will be essentially a permanent boost to your commander once you unlock it, which is absolutely fantastic. Probably those buffs will not be active in case you will migrate back to a KVK season, which is not the Season of Conquest. I just really hope that Lilith will not offer the relics to unlock the skills in bundles or in a pay-to-win way and gives everyone the opportunity to get those relics for free, because it's very important that everyone gets access to the boosts. Otherwise, this would only increase the gap between players even more. And some people said, well, if everyone gets the buff, it's like nobody gets the buff. In my opinion, that's not true. As long as the buff is granted to everyone, this might open the doors to new commander pairings and new combinations that could work potentially against the new commanders. We will test everything anyway, don't worry. There is another concern about the fact that new players go very fast in the Season of Conquest nowadays and did not have so much time to max all the gold chest commanders like us old players, like me for example. This is a very valid concern and we will need to see how this will work in practice. Said that, let's speak about the part you were waiting for, the new commander boosts. If you like quick update videos, please consider supporting the channel with a like and by subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. Adelflaed will receive 15% more troops attack for every unit and 10% march speed. I think this is a good buff, especially about the march speed. It will make Adelflaed even more important in a support role. Julius Caesar will get 10% all damage boost, which is great, and 10% march speed. I am not sure that this will be enough to make Julius Caesar viable in open field, but surely it's a good boost for this commander. Frederick I will receive 25% troop attack and 10% skill damage reduction. Now this is quite interesting. Frederick really needed something to make him tankier, and 10% permanent skill damage reduction is not at all bad. Will it be enough to open the way to new pairings? For example, like Mehmed and Frederick for the open field, or Frederick and Caesar, or with other damage over time commanders, like Cyrus the Great. Or maybe YSG and Frederick I, which was a combo extremely popular at the beginning of Rise of Kingdoms. Who knows, we will see. YSG. Many people thought that YSG could not ever get better than he is. You were wrong. I mean, maybe YSG was the only commander in the list that did not really need a buff, but I did always say that the first legendary commander that you should max out is YSG, so don't complain now if you don't have YSG maxed out, because he's getting 10% extra archer defense and 3% skill damage. This is huge. Like, huge. Because if there is something that YSG is lacking is the defense, and this boost is spot on. It's only 10%, but I mean, it's YSG, he was already a top commander. In addition to that, he's getting 3% skill damage, which will surely benefit the king of AoE. Now a pairing like YSG and Nebu will be even stronger. Let's go on with Cao Cao. He's quite weak in defense, we know that, and he's now getting 20% cavalry health, which will surely help him out. That's a huge amount of health, and 200 instant damage factor. We don't know if there is any percentage of proc attached to this bonus. My translator thinks it's something like Alexander the Great's second skill, and I honestly think he's right. So something like a passive instant damage factor which has a percentage of activation, like 10%, who knows. I am not sure that this will make Cao Cao a very used commander in the current meta, but surely will make happy players who don't have a good secondary cavalry commander and will now potentially be able to use Cao Cao instead. It's always a good thing. Richard I is also getting a boost, consisting in 10% infantry march speed and 3% counterattack damage. The counterattack damage is good paired with the infantry march speed. Richard, we know that is not a damage dealer. He's a tanky commander, so most of the time he needs to run away to stay safe. And what better way to give him some extra march speed to do that? With some counterattack damage, so in case he gets attacked by multiple marches and swarmed, he can run away better, and also deal some counterattack damage in the meantime. I bet that Richard and YSG users will be happy, or people who love to use, for example, Alex and Richard I. Minamoto is getting 20% cavalry defense and 25% cavalry attack. This is a huge boost for Minamoto, a boost that goes all in statistics. I am quite sure that we will start seeing many more Minamotos on the field, to be honest. His single target damage is great. What he was lacking was some statistics. Maybe he will be very good now paired with Frederick I. Who knows? That amount of nuke will be potentially super strong, maybe picking up latent power on the skill talent tree for Minamoto in order to give Frederick I even more firepower when he's dealing his damage over time. I'm just brainstorming here, I'm just giving you ideas so you can test them out later. It's also true that maybe this huge buff on Minamoto is because Lilith wants more players to buy the VIP chests, but I mean, we know how this works. Charles Martel is also getting an all-in stat boost with 25% infantry attack and 5% infantry defense. That's a good boost for Charles Martel. I don't think he will outclass the latest garrison commanders such as Amanitori and Jadwiga and Zenobia, but maybe he will be more useful in the open field with commanders like Richard for a full tanky march, or even Harald Sigurdsson to have more firepower thanks to the extra 25% infantry attack, and at the same time compensate some of Harald's defense loss with a little but always nice 5% infantry defense boost. Guys, I know I'm very excited, I'm pumped. I hope you are counting how many times I'm saying the words bonus and boosts in this video, because I totally lost the count. Elcid is getting 10% archer attack and 150 instant damage factor. The situation here is the same compared to Cao Cao probably for the instant damage factor. I am afraid that Elcid will keep staying in the bench because this is not really the buff he needed. I mean, what he needed is a miracle, not a buff, and I don't think this one is a miracle. I am anticipating that Elcid will not be used more compared to now. Hannibal Barca is receiving 25% troop attack and will reduce the normal attack damage by 5%. Theoretically, this should be reducing both the attacks and the counterattacks damage by a solid 5%. We will be sure only when we will test him. And for now, this is another buff that I don't think will be extremely relevant. So who didn't max Hannibal Barca through the VIP chests and already had the credit card ready now? I have seen some of you in the comment section of my previous video, don't lie. Please just don't spend the money yet and wait for me to test him out. Let me save you some money. Mehmed II will get 20% troop health and 5% skill damage. Now this I really like. If Mehmed II was already a good commander before that could potentially replace a secondary AoE commander in case you did not have something better and more specific for your pairing, I think that Mehmed now will have way more pairing options. Maybe paired up with Frederick I, or maybe as secondary commander to other AoE commanders to make them tankier thanks to the 20% troop health and 5% skill damage, because AoE commanders are not famous to be very resistant, and there is a reason to that. Things need to be somehow balanced. Even if Lilith did not exactly make a beautiful job in this sense so far, but yeah. I will for sure be testing out pairings like Nebu and Mehmed, or YSG and Mehmed, Frederick and Mehmed, Artemisia and Mehmed, which I used in the past, or even Saladin with Mehmed as secondary commander, which I also used in the past and was quite good. I think he will bring a good addition to the current meta for open field, especially for players who don't have many other options and already had the opportunity to max this commander out through the gold chests. Now we have Mulan, who was already a good support commander. She got an extra 10% troop health and 10% skill damage taken reduction. Now this is a powerful buff. Who knows, maybe now a pairing like Trajan and Mulan, or Aethelflaed and Mulan, or even Saladin and Mulan, Richard and Mulan will become the new meta for supporting marches. I am sure that she will be used much more now compared to the past. Charlemagne, the man, the myth, the legend, the most useless legendary commander in the game. He's getting a whopping 30% troop attack and 300 instant skill damage factor. Man, if El Cid needed a miracle, this guy here needed like a blessing from a divinity, and he surely did not get it. I don't see Charlemagne going anywhere. I published a commander tier list before this video, like an hour and a half ago. You may want to watch it to see in which tier I classified Charlemagne. It's quite funny, to be honest. Maybe you can have a laugh. I'll make sure to link the video in the card up on the top and in the video description down below. Finally, the last boosted commander is Ragnar Lodbrok. He's getting 20% troop defense and he will reduce the normal attack damage by 10%. So theoretically, both attacks and counterattacks reduction by 10%. If this buff were to be active before the Season of Conquest, maybe this commander could have had a sort of, I don't know, a shot of becoming part of the meta for rally leading, but I remember that the museum will be available only in the Season of Conquest, so I don't think he will outclass stronger rallies like XY Chandra, Pakal Harald, or Gilgamesh Nebu. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's 100% free. You can always change your mind later and helps me out a ton. That's it for this video. Stay tuned because shortly today I will publish another video with the translations of all the skills of the new cavalry commanders, Bertrand and Alexander Nevsky. If you don't want to miss that, activate the bells for notifications to be the very first one to learn about the new skills. I will see you later. Ciao!